So you need to teach them how to position, how to plan, how to prioritize, how to pace their work. So it is 4 P's for ECT. Positioning, you should tell the patient, you should educate the patient that whenever they have any acute exacerbation of breathlessness, what are the positions that they can sit in or lean on to. Like if they do, you teach them, you as a physiotherapist, you know that sitting in semi Fowler's position with back rested up to 45 degrees will help and ease their respiration. It will cause relaxation, it will pull the diaphragm down, and they'll be able to inspire properly, expire properly. But what if the patient is not able to find a chair or a bed to lie in semi Fowler's position? You should teach them all the positions, like how while climbing stairs they can lean on the wall, they can lean forward on the table if they are standing, etc. You all know what are the positions for relaxations during breathlessness. So you need to teach them. Then you need to teach them how to pace their activities, how to measure their own symptoms, how to measure themselves if they are tired, or when they should stop the work, when they should start the work, at what velocity, at what speed they should climb the staircase. Like you can teach them, breathe in, climb one stair, breathe out, put the next step, breathe in, breathe out should be rhythmized with their climbing up and down the staircase. Okay, it is an example. There are other pacing examples that you yourself can come up with while teaching your patient, educating your patients. Then you should teach them how to plan things and how to prioritize things. For example, if they are staying alone, they do not have helper, they need to do some household chores. You should you should educate them, you should teach them that taking bath is a priority. Washing curtains, washing bed sheets, it is not a priority for right now. If you're feeling very fatigued, lethargic, if you feel you're not well, you can delay those things. Okay, like going to market can be done by someone else for you, or else you can just make a list, you can plan that at what time you will be going out. For example, for the people who are staying in countries where there is snowfall, where there is wind, dust, where the patients with respiratory diseases can't manage well. So according to them, you can change by planning the time of when they'll step out for groceries, step in, and what all groceries they need to bring. It should be planned accordingly, it should be written down. Like they should not be making maximum number of trips. Everything should be done in one trip itself. So that is what you can advise patient, as well as prioritizing. I told you smoking cessation is the most important education for the patients with respiratory diseases. If during assessment of the patient, during his personal history that he is addicted to any kind of nicotine, it may be chewing, smoking, etc., you should always educate them to stop smoking, okay, to reduce any kind of addiction. This can be done by nicotine gums, nicotine patches, and desensitizing with psychological therapies. Okay, teach them proper bronchial hygiene, ideal way of coughing, huffing techniques, proper breathing techniques, proper cough removal. How can they measure, how can they themselves see the prognosis? By checking the quantity, consistency, color, writing down in their diaries. Okay, though they should be taught about proper bronchial hygiene. Review and teach about the use of their medications. Always check what medications are they being prescribed. See for long term, short term bronchodilators or other say acetylcholinergics. Why you need to do that? You need to make patient understand that, for example, he has been prescribed with salbutamol, okay, and formoterol. We all know that salbutamol is a short acting drug. It will act within seconds, and will work only for a few minutes, but as compared to long acting drugs, long acting beta adrenergic drugs. But we need to tell this to patient that if you have two pumps, which pump he should be taking during acute exacerbation, when he is actually getting an acute attack of breathlessness, and which one he has to take during like uh, like in a metered dose during like regular protocols. Okay, so usually long acting drugs are given for daily uses, and short acting drugs are given SOS. Okay, so that is what you need to educate them, what are the drugs for, because some patients may not be following the therapy. They'll be like, nothing is happening, why should I still take the pump, which are long acting and which are actually stopping their exacerbations. Okay, and all as well teach them end of life education and care to their family members, to everyone who's taking care of the patient. What are the psychological intervention? What are the needs of psychological intervention? When a patient is confined to a place, he's becoming breathless. So obviously an increased risk of anxiety, depression, question to the self-worth. That is what usually patients go through when they are at an elder age, and when they think that they have become a burden on someone in their and the entire family has to take care of them, be around them. So it will basically help, these interventions will help the patient to cope up with the stressors that are leading to anxiety and depression. They have because people usually during this time, they have difficulty in problem solving, understanding what's going on with them, and ultimately it leads to failure to the adherence of the plans and the therapies that they are being prescribed. So what all you can do here is give them a proper stress management protocol, help them with relaxation. You can use Jacobson's relaxation, you can use all the type of relaxation techniques by using audio, video, different senses. You can teach patient or refer patient to yoga, tai chi, water tai chi, vatsu, etc. Okay, this will help the patient with reducing the anxiety, depression, thinking with a calm, cool mind about his own condition, and making him independent, more aware about his own condition. Whereas a pharmacological therapy, which is usually, you should always know what are the drugs that patient are being administered to. So there are anticholinergic, short acting, long acting. We already talked about. We talked about short acting beta adrenergic agonists, which are known as SABA. Long acting beta agonist drugs, beta 2 agonist drugs, which are known as LABA. Then there are methylxanthines, mast cell stabilizers, corticosteroids, mucolytic agents, and suitable antimicrobial agents. You should know that what are the drugs that are being given to the patients with respiratory diseases. You should all know the side effects of these drugs, the usage of these drugs, like these corticosteroids that I have mentioned, fluticasone and beclomethasone, are inhaled corticosteroids which are given along with SABA and LABA. Okay, what are the outcome measures for the quality of life that which will help you to know the prognosis and how independent the patient is? London Chest Activity of Daily Living, WHO Quality of Life Questionnaire. You can use SF36 or the shorter version SF12. All these PDFs are available online. You can just see. And yes, that's it. So I hope you all can now write the pulmonary rehabilitation for the patients with any pulmonary disease, and create your own answers. As I said, everything will be depending upon the actual patient's symptoms